and welcome back to Silver Octagon Technologies. In this video, I want to go over SD1's left hand development. So let's get started. So as you can see, this is a basic sweep sketch uploaded to the Arduino with the hand. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the things I've changed in the design process of the left arm in general. And I'd like to begin with the thumb, so let's hop right in it. So I'm going to stop this this sketch real quick, and then I'm going to show you. So first things first, I changed quite a few things about the left hand actually. So one of the things is these screws I drilled directly through the thumb piece here, and I figured it would give it more strength. And in the previous thumb, it's actually glued directly to the servo, which I thought I was kind of in a rush. So it's super glued and it's pretty strong. It's sturdy. I've been able to pick up small objects with it, but it's not something that I wanted to keep. So I wanted to prototype a different method. And so far, the screws are actually pretty good. It's not the prettiest, given the fact that I just slapped it right on there. And like I said, it's pretty much a temporary thing. I'm going to refine this later on. So I drilled through it with actually to where the screws can slide in and out perfectly. So as soon as I loosen these bolts here, I can just pull it right off. And well, I'd have to unscrew this screw here, but it's very modular, it's accessible, and to me it's a better design. As for some other things, I wanted to get a in-depth look at the new finger design. I have not made a video about the fingers at all recently. I've basically just said that I changed a couple things. But as you can see, so I can focus in the previous design, I had sheaths covering the fingers, and which I did not like that design because it was just too much of a hassle. So I kind of built in the ligament holes directly into the fingers, and I gave it a little more shape in doing so, which was pretty cool. And overall, the hand turned out really well. I've cracked a little bit of the 3D printed parts, but that's no biggie. It's just that right there, little break in the plastic. I've got everything assembled down to the wrist here, and I just got some new electronics. I got a potentiometer to run this this servo here, left and right, similar to the right arm, which I plan to make a lot more videos on the right arm and demonstrate my testing very soon. But as for the left hand, this is what it's looking like right now. And so another thing I wanted to talk about with the development of the arms in general, or the hands, or the wrist, is enclosures. So servos sit here on this portion of the wrist, like in the right arm here, these two. And I wanted to cover all this up, especially these wires, which I'm sure everybody's noticed that this is kind of a bad design. Well, me personally, I think it is, because the wire comes directly out and around when I could have designed it to fit through if I would have made this a little thicker. But I've been trying to consolidate when it comes to weight. I don't want the wrist to be too heavy because I was having trouble with my previous motors, which is kind of funny because I had made a mistake. I put 200 RPM motors on here instead of the 50 RPM torque down motor, and I was wondering why I couldn't lift the wrist, and I redesigned everything, and it was just a giant mistake, but actually led towards, I guess, a better product. Uh, um, Basically because I can lift more weight now, but yeah, because it's lighter. But as for enclosures, I'm going to 3D print a very nice forearm look. It's going to wrap around like a half a circle here, and it's going to fit perfectly, and it's going to go around the backside too over the servos, and so it'll give that real lifelike look towards a forearm. And everything turned out really well. Gears, and I was using a different filament this time. It was a lot stronger, and it was very cheap actually. It was around $12 on Amazon, but I recently tried to get some more, and they're out of stock. So, but yeah, and I guess I could go over some things with the shoulder. All right, so I'm sure you're wondering what these are, but these are very important parts to the robot's shoulder motor mount. So this is the motor mount itself, and this actually holds it. And see, it sits like this. It sits directly in here, right here. Just like that. And I screw that in from the other side when I pull this off. And this, now mind you, this is actually redesigned. I had to redesign this to make it stronger. See, this one only has 2 holes in it, and it's prone to shifting left and right whenever the gear is activated. So what I did is I thought that, I'd try out 3 just in case, because it probably would have been smarter to do just 4 holes, 1 here, 1 there, 2 there, and but the problem with that is I'm actually limited on space. I could show you, but it'd be very difficult. Underneath here, right in between that space, I don't know if you can see it, so let me see if I can point to it. Down in there, I don't have a lot of space in between there to get 2 screws that are long enough or strong enough to support the motor and the entire gearbox here. So what I went with is I went with my gut. So let me see if that works out, and I'm gonna tell everybody how it went. But another thing on the shoulder, so I can get around back. So in here, I don't know if you notice, it's not very straight. You probably can't tell, but from my perspective, it's decent, and it does its job. It's just not perfect. I'm kind of a perfectionist, even though I do get lazy sometimes. But yeah, it actually turned out a little better. I did some good measurements on this gearbox here. Now, if I showed you the other one, you'd probably laugh because it's pretty ugly. I rushed through this one pretty fast. I had to make minor repairs and everything, but mind you, this is all just prototyping. I was just rushing through it. This is a burn mark where I had to weld that back together. Tried to anyway. Yeah, so the robot's definitely in fruition. It's happening. It's coming along. All right, so breaking it down, just as a general recap, like the hands will be tested when I get PCB boards and create my own circuits. I have to get a new soldering station, which should be here in a couple of days. Basically because I'm running out of space on the robot. Most of my electronics housing is taken up. The only other space I do have would be inside the chest plate here, along the walls inside. But they're not very suitable to fit Arduinos unless I get Nanos. But I'm more comfortable with the Uno. Also, in order to get the hands tested, I want them to be at a certain point because I could test them, but it'd be very uncomfortable. having a lot of my electronics dangling around because I don't want my electronics exposed whatsoever. I want everything encased, hidden. Um, so what I'm talking about is my adjustable voltage regulators. See, this entire circuit is just messy to me. So I'm waiting on my PCB boards, which will be here soon, in order to tighten that up, fit it somewhere inside the robot, and gain analog control over the hand, which I've already established, but I've disassembled in order to extend the wires into the controller, and I'm waiting on my PCB boards to finish. So that'll happen very soon, because I'm sure I've spoken about testing the arms along with the hands to pick up small objects, object-specific things. So that'll happen very soon because my future plans for the robot are to, one, establish manual control first. So once I establish manual control, I can test in any fashion, any way to fine tune certain things, and then I'm going to add in rotary encoders on the motors, perhaps even change out some motors, just in case if the encoders don't fit on the shafts, which is totally fine with me. I can redesign this. It'll be hop, skip, and a jump, and it'll probably give me more power if I have a bigger motor, because these only give me enough oomph because they're geared down and they're torque motors. So if I had something that was bigger, much more faster, it'd probably be more effective. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And an announcement to make: I just signed up for Patreon, so if any of you are interested in Patreon or helping out fund this project in any way, shape, or form, I truly appreciate it. The faster I can get this robot done, the faster I can make the world a better place. Also, if you do join me and become my patron, I will send out free 3D objects that I've printed, stuff that I'm not using anymore, for instance, like prototype fingers, stuff like that. So if you're interested, leave me a like, tell me how you felt about the video, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys later.